This episode of the DolphinsTalk.com podcast is sponsored by Caneswear. Caneswear.com is the spot where Miami fans shop. That's Caneswear.com. Caneswear.com, the best and most affordable gear for the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Marlins, the Miami Heat, the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, all of the professional and college sports teams in South Florida. Caneswear.com has you covered. If you're in South Florida, you can visit the storefront at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. They ship internationally as well. So Caneswear.com, make it the place. It's the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins gear. That's Caneswear.com, Caneswear.com. And don't forget about Dolphins Talk Extra. Go to patreon.com/DolphinsTalk for additional Miami Dolphins content. You get extra access to our private Discord server. You get bonus podcasts covering the Miami Dolphins. You get off-topic content as well. We have live watch-alongs. We have retro rewatches where we watch old games and talk about them. We do off-topic shows. We have prizes, contests, all kinds of exclusive access only for Dolphins Talk Extra subscribers. So join us, patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. You can join the fun for as little as $3 a month. Head on over to Dolphins Talk Extra at patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. And now, on with the show.
You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the most listened to daily Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest of all.
Come on, Dolphins fans. Time to fins up.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking to my ball. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans, and thank you for listening to another episode of the DolphinsTalk.com podcast. We got a very special guest today. Yes, he's a Jets fan, but we love him. We're going to talk about the Jets, the Dolphins. Craig Carton, you can catch him Monday through Friday on FS1, 8 to 10 a.m. on Breakfast Ball. Craig, how you doing today?
Great. It's great to talk to you guys, a fan of a team that doesn't have a single playoff win this century. Awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to have some fun talking about Jets and Dolphins. But before I talk about that, I want to ask you a question because, you know, everyone knows your story and everyone knows what you went through. And what I like about you so much and stuff is now, after everything you went through, you're trying to help people who are in the same type of situation as you. I know you got your show, Hello, my name is Craig. And I think you got something now starting on FanDuel TV as well to help people who just have an issue with, who just have an issue because there's so much these days with sports gambling. It's everywhere, hits you everywhere. Talk a little bit about some of the stuff you're doing and anyone who might have that type of an issue that is watching this, where they can catch that and maybe find some help.
So look, it's I grew up gambling since I'm in like first grade. It's always been a part of my life. And then quite famously, I went down a bad path where it overtook all rational thought and became the most important thing in my life. And despite having multiple opportunities to stop it and get a hold of it, my ego got in the way of it. And I, kept making bad decision after bad decision. And when you go down that road in the world of gambling, you wind up associating with bad people, and bad people lead to bad things. And it obviously cost me 3 years of my life and my career. And now I'm in a really unique, interesting, amazing situation where I've been blessed and afforded the opportunity to restart a career at the highest of levels, both on the radio in New York City, on the Fan, and now, of course, here at Fox Sports. And I just felt that it was really important for me, because I got the second chance, to use my story and the worst aspects and experiences of my life to help other people. Because what I learned over those 3 years is that there ain't nothing good about it. And if I can somehow, some way help younger guys who are now gambling, a lot of them for the first time, who have no experience with how to handle losses or even how to handle big wins, and I can at least give them a story that is literally ripped from the headlines of my life to help them protect themselves from themselves so they don't go out down the same road. It was just an important thing for me to do because I've always said, at my core, I believe that I'm a good person. And I own the fact that for a year or two, I was making bad decisions and I became somebody that wasn't true to who I really am. So now that I'm afforded this great opportunity and platform, I'm not going to waste it, in how I live my life. But then beyond that, I know that my story resonates. And I know that when I speak to younger guys who all of a sudden have an issue with gambling, they'll respect the fact that I lived it, that I can talk apples to apples with them. And they can't BS me because I've experienced everything that they've experienced, good and bad, times 100, if not times a lot more than that. And hopefully by listening to my story, by speaking to me, getting to know me, and even taking some advice from me, we can get them the help they need before they're in too deep.
Yeah, and I think that's outstanding because again, and I think people who listen to you over the years, like myself, know you are a very nice person and you are a very high quality human being, but you had your issues and you served your time and now you're back trying to help. And I think that's a great thing. So the show is Hello, My Name is Craig. I think that's found on the Odyssey app.
Yep.
If I'm
That's
right,
on the Odyssey app. And then every month we do a TV show for FanDuel TV, which also is on all the social platforms, called The Comeback. Because that's really what I'm doing. I'm in the middle of this amazing comeback, life, personal, and career. And, I get great satisfaction sharing my story because I know it's helping other people.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So check that out if that's something for people who think that could help them. All right, let's have some fun. Jets and Dolphins. I often joke Jets fans will fight with fans of Dolphins and vice versa. At the end of the day, both these organizations are virtually the same because neither one will win anything. And it's like two loser fan bases almost kind of fight with each other at the end of the day. Jets have a new head coach in Aaron Glenn. Are you excited for Aaron Glenn? What are your thoughts on him as the next guy to try to fix this?
I mean, I'm not excited because I don't know. It's not like I'm hiring a guy that just won 5 Super Bowls and he's in the prime of his coaching career. I'm hopeful. I've always said I view head coaches the way I view presidents and the way I view airline pilots. I may not know you, I may not like you, but I'm rooting for you. And that's how I feel about Aaron Glenn. Like, I hope he's the answer. I hope he brings some level of consistency and competency to the New York Jets. I guess I'd rather have a new GM and a new head coach than do what the Dolphins have done for the last 20 years, which is, Greer just gets to run a franchise and there's not a single positive thing to take from his tenure as general manager. I have a lot of respect for Stephen Ross. I know Steve Ross. I've been in Steve Ross's company many, many times. And for a guy that's such a great businessman, I don't understand why he allows his, $5 billion football team to be run by a guy that has never had any success at any tangible level that's acceptable for a great fan base. Like, you guys show up. Jet fans show up. And at the end of the day, while, we dislike each other as teams and I root against you, you root against me, we're just part of fandom.
Yeah.
The reality is that we're both in the same boat. We got, incompetent, franchises run by guys that obviously make all their money in other industries and businesses. And I'm not sure if it's a vanity purchase where if we win, great. If we lose, not that big a deal. But for us as fans to invest our money, our time, our emotions into football, like, we're all doing the same thing right now. Football starts in 40 some odd days. I can't wait. You can't wait. And we both know we're not winning the Super Bowl.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad this year. Yeah. Yeah. And you're 100% right. And what you said about Chris Grier is going to make you very popular with a large segment of Dolphins fans, because that's the question we ask. Like, this guy's been here seemingly forever. He has no resume. It's a blank sheet of paper, no successes. And why is he still here? And, some people think this is the year he's on the hot seat, which finally, if it's true, I don't even know if that's true, though, because he survived everything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Greer's ever going to be on the hot seat. I know they signed McDaniel to a 3-year extension.
Something like that last year. Yeah.
I do think this is a big year for Mike because you've made the playoffs twice with him as head coach. Even if I want to excuse the 30 below game at Kansas City as unwinnable, and I think that's probably fair for me to say. And yes, they almost beat the Bills with a backup quarterback in the other playoff game, and I thought it courted them well. The reality is that Mike McDaniel's never won a playoff game. And while I'm not a big Tua guy, you've got a competent quarterback, if not a top 10 quarterback. You've got a wide receiver who's as good as anybody towards the back end of his prime in Tyreek Hill. You had a great running situation with Mostert more 2 years ago than last year. Like at some point, you can have the greatest coach in the world, a coach that the players all like. If it doesn't equate to a single playoff win, then what's the point? And I think that's where you guys are at with Mike McDaniel. I think the capris and the Biggie Smalls pregame and the vaping and all that nonsense, it's great when you win.
Yep.
But when you never win a playoff game, that also gets old really quick.
Yeah, the honeymoon is over for him in South Florida, especially this year. He has to win. And unfortunately for him, if you look at all 4 years he's been here, this year being year 4, it's probably the worst roster he has. So he's under the most pressure with the worst roster he's had. Because what he had in 2022 and in 2023, those are great rosters that fell short. This roster is not as great as that one was, especially in the secondary and some other spots.
Yeah, your defense is suspect. I think they're going to make a trade in the next couple days or weeks for Mark Andrews of the Ravens. So he'll replace Johnny Smith, I think, for you guys. I think that's going to happen. Not that makes them world beaters,
no,
but at least you get a competent veteran presence at tight end who's, probably the second greatest tight end or third greatest tight end in Ravens history. But yeah, the Dolphins, like a lot of teams, are a flawed team. The only good thing for Miami is that New England's got a second-year quarterback, so who knows about Drake May? The Jets, I know Aaron Glenn's in his first year, so who knows about the Jets? And while the Bills are going to win the division again for the 6th consecutive year, when you look at the Bills roster, it's not awesome. They're the best team. They've got the best quarterback. And I like James Cook at running back, but they don't have a lot of depth at wide receiver. Their defense isn't a top 5 defense. Like, there's blood in the water. I just don't think the Dolphins, Jets, or Patriots are good enough yet where they can really push the Bills to win the division.
I agree. And I think most people would agree with that as well. I think the Bills, unless they have a bunch of injuries of some sort, they're probably just going to win this division by early to mid-November. It shouldn't be that tough, kind of like we did last year. First week of November, we clinched. Now we're just fighting over the seeding. Tua Tagovailoa, I know you kind of been harsh on him over the years. It's not all unfair what you say. Some of it's very fair. And I think some fans of the Miami Dolphins are starting to come around look, he's going into year 6 now. He's not like a rookie anymore. Injuries, obviously, a huge issue. Nothing anyone can say about that. But from a number standpoint, when he plays, the numbers are real. Like, they win games, and he's ranks number 2 in explosive pass play rate of passes over 15 plus yards, number 2 in yards per average, number 2 in completion rate. Like, the numbers are real. It's just he can't stay healthy. What are your thoughts on him? And has he changed your opinion a little bit over the years?
Look, I respect him because I thought he should have retired. I thought, especially after that last concussion, you have a life to live, and you're not even 30 years old yet, and you want to live another 50, 60 years, and I think he's risking that. And while we love it as fans because he's a gladiator, I really thought that he got bad advice, and he should have had his helmet taken from him, and he shouldn't play football ever again. And I know, look, I have a son who plays football. I know that there's no rational talk to a young man who wants to play and is competitive. So I get that, and I respect it. Keeping that aside, look, he's not a top 10 quarterback. Nobody can make the argument that he is. I don't care how well he throws the ball under 15 yards. It's the NFL, man. You got to throw 25-yard out patterns. You got to throw the ball 40 yards down the middle of the field with some level of confidence. I don't think he's great at that. I respect, obviously, his want to. I respect the work ethic. I respect the gladiator mentality. But I just don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I'd probably argue he's not a top 15 quarterback. So while I like him as a person and I respect the fight to come back and play, I get all that. And that's why fans, I think, adore him. But at the end of the day, he's not, the second coming of Dan
No,
Marino. He's
no, he's not.
not. He's not the best quarterback you've had since Dan Marino. And I don't think he's a great NFL quarterback. Great kid, the type of personality you want for sure, but he's not 6'5". He doesn't come in at 245. We can absorb big hits. He's not the greatest mobile quarterback, obviously. You don't want him running around anyway
No.
because of the concussions. And I don't think he's great. I think he's better than, 10, 15 quarterbacks. So I think he's right in the middle of the pack. And again, he's never won a playoff game. And when we judge quarterbacks, whether it's fair or not, because it's a team sport and teams win playoff games, in the NFL, great quarterbacks at some point win playoff games. Just on their own merit, they win playoff games. And he's never done that. And at some point, that's got to count for something.
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely does. And kind of like the head coach, this is a huge year for him because, yes, he got paid a lot of money, but in a year or so,
Here's the reality of Mike McDaniel. He's going to get fired after this year. He's going to get another job, and I would even say he's earned that. And if I was the team trying to resurrect a franchise, I would hire Mike as well. I like Mike McDaniel a lot as a person. And then I would say about 4 years from now, he's probably working at Fox or at CBS or at Amazon or Hulu or God knows what other
Netflix.
network or streaming service has football. Yeah. He'll be a great TV guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple more questions. I'll let you go. Justin Fields. Last year, obviously, Rodgers. Now you got Fields. Is that an upgrade in your mind? Is it a little bit of a downgrade or kind of wait and see?
Justin Fields is a major upgrade at slot receiver for us. I had to wait for the laugh. You got it. Look, Justin Fields is not an NFL quarterback. I hope I'm proven dead wrong about that. It's not an upgrade over Aaron Rodgers. The worst thing about Aaron Rodgers, because if you look at his stats, and people think I'm making this up, go look at it. Aaron Rodgers' stats were the same as Josh Allen's last year.
Second half of the year. He was great, Rodgers, second half of the year.
Josh Allen was the MVP of the league. Now, not running, obviously. Josh Allen runs him by far. But as a throwing quarterback, the problem with Aaron Rodgers is that he had 5 games where he had the ball in his hands, down by less than a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and that's why they signed him. And he was 0 for 5 in those spots. So, look, I think he came on better late. I think he's still a very good quarterback. I think he'll have success in Pittsburgh. And I'm hopeful that Justin Fields remembers how to play quarterback, but I do not think he's a real NFL quarterback.
Okay, last 2 questions for you about some people you worked with at the Fan. I got to ask. Al Dukes, is he as peculiar in real life as he comes off on the radio? Look, I love it. I laugh anytime he talks, but some of the stuff, he just seems like the most peculiar man on planet Earth at times.
Of all the people in the combined 12 years that I was at WFAN that I thought you would open up and lead with to get my take on as a person, I did not think it'd be Al Dukes.
Oh, who else? Like everyone knows.
I think Al Dukes is the greatest radio producer of all time. He is the most peculiar, quirky human beings, I think, walking the planet Earth. I love him to death, and he's exactly what you think he is.
I heard him on the radio in the past week. He's going on vacation, I guess, in a week or so to Montana. And how he picked Montana, he used AI. And he put in questions of where he should go on vacation and what he wants. And it came up with Montana. And I guess one of the fields he put in is, I want to be in a place with a lot of Republicans. And it popped out Montana was one of the, I was like, who does that? Al Dukes does that.
Yeah, Al Dukes also goes to restaurants at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He is the top of the list of everyone that you used to work with. I would ask about just because of it's Al Dukes. The second person, Evan Roberts, seems like a great guy, great father, just great. But another guy who blows my mind. He's in France this week doing podcasts about the Mets, Is he on a family vacation? Like, is he too obsessed with sports? Like, you can be too obsessed with sports.
Yeah.
Is he too up? I mean, he's in France with his wife and kids. He's doing Mets podcasts, scoring games in the airport. That's weird.
Yeah. He was scoring a Met game from the Eiffel Tower. Look, I love Evan to death. He's a great guy, number one. He's a great dad and husband, all those things. He's a good dude. And I like to think that I allow people to get to know him as a human being more than they did prior to working with me. But he is the stereotype for a guy that needs a hobby outside of watching baseball on TV. Like, it's troublesome. You know, and I have said so many times, there's got to be something else you like. And I'll never forget, he goes, well, there's one other thing that I like almost as much as I like sports, and specifically the New York Mets. And I said, well, what is it? And he goes, I'm a presidential historian.
Yes.
So when he's not watching the Mets or thinking about the Mets, he's studying factoids about American presidents, and even more than that, their childhood homes, which he has visited on vacations with his wife.
Poor wife.
Think about that. When they were dating, before she said, yes, I do, he took her to, like, Harrison's childhood home.
That's insane.
Taft's childhood home. So I'm not even talking like 21st century presidents.
1800s.
I'm barely talking 20th century presidents. He's like, hey, you know where Teddy Roosevelt grew up?
Yeah. He's obsessed with sports, but every team he roots for, they're so big. Like, if I rooted for, like, the Chiefs, and if I rooted for all these teams that won, yeah, I'd be like really obsessed too, because there's a lot of winning. It'd be a lot of fun. He's rooting for the Nets, who are terrible, and they've always been terrible. The Jets have been terrible for a long time, and the Mets, you know, they're okay at times, but they've also had some heartbreaking losses. And like, he's obsessed about teams that are terrible.
Yeah, it's a sickness. It's a mental illness. It's what it is. That's why I became a Yankee fan in 2009. I needed a World Series in my life. I needed something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Craig, exactly. Craig, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time today. Everyone, check out Breakfast Ball, Fox Sports 1, 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. We appreciate it. Rooting for the Jets to go 0-16, just like you're rooting for Miami to go 0-16.
Yeah. And
it's been a pleasure talking to you. I've listened for many years. It's been great.
Thank you. And one of the great things about your fandom, and I know some people do get too carried away and they make it personal, is the ability to bust balls back and forth about our teams. So I enjoy doing that with you guys in Dolphins Nation. And look, we're in the same spot, so I kind of feel like, in a weird way, we're on the same team.
We are. And I know you went to Syracuse University. I've lived there my whole life. I'm right there right now at Syracuse. We are a football school now. The hell with basketball. We got a real football program on our hands.
And listen, if things, go according to some people's plans, you might have a new running back a season from now.
Oh, yeah.
There might be a D3 running back with some eligibility left who might be talking to Syracuse about becoming their new starting running back a year from now.
Really?
So you might want to keep an eye on the last name Carton. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, if you come to town, let me know. I'll buy you a beer, and we'll root for the Carton kid at running back.
Well, you buy the beer, I'll buy the dinosaur barbecue. Call it a deal.
There we go. All right. Craig, thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Everyone, have a great day. We'll talk to you again after a while. Hey, everyone. Mike here from DolphinsTalk.com. And thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to take a second to smash the like button here on this video, and also to ensure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. We thank you so much for listening, and we know there are a lot of podcast options out there these days regarding the Miami Dolphins and with non-Miami Dolphins podcasts. So we do appreciate you giving us a few minutes each and every day to tune in and listen to all of our shows. Everyone here on staff, thanks you so much. And if you enjoy these shows, also, please be sure to sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra, our Patreon service, at patreon.com/Dolphins Talk, where we have bonus podcasts about the Dolphins and some shows not about the Miami Dolphins. We have a private message board. We also have a ton of contests where we give away really cool prizes, and it's all for the low cost of $3 a month. Again, that's patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. And also, please be sure to follow the written content we have up on our website. So check out the website, DolphinsTalk.com, each and every day. Once again, thank you again for listening. Take care, and we'll talk to you again real soon.